Jack Conlon, BBC Radio Leeds. You want to get us started, mate?
Yeah, all good. Hi, Bojan. How are you?
Hi. Hello. I'm good. Thanks. You?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Good to meet you. Just firstly, you've been here just over a week now. How are you settling into West Yorkshire?
No, I settled quite well. I think the warm welcome from everybody has been great, and I'm so grateful for that.
You obviously made your debut at the weekend in that game against Man City. The result itself aside, how much of a whirlwind sort of few days was that for you, from signing to walking out at the Etihad?
Yeah, it have been a lot of busy, long days before that game, with a lot of stuff to be done, a lot of tests. So yeah, it was quite long days for me, and as I wanted, like, it was a pretty nice game to play, to make my debut. So as you said, the score was not the best one as we should have expected, but yeah, at the beginning my mentality was to being able to play some minutes to make my debut and progress and move on from that.
How have the past few days been after that? Have you sort of got to know some of your new teammates a bit better, get to know Huddersfield a bit more?
Yeah, I got to know my teammates. We had good talks in the dressing room during the week. Yeah, everything is fantastic here. I have no bad words for anything, so everything it's great here. So I'm really glad to have this opportunity, and yeah, from now on, let's try to get it better and better.
Just on the move itself, what made you choose Huddersfield Town when you found out they were interested in you?
As I said in my first interview for the club, it was an opportunity that I couldn't skip it out. So I just had to say yes, because it was a real and only opportunity for me, coming to England again and playing for this great club, and yeah, in Championship. So for me was the perfect opportunity. So I said, why not? It's for sure. It's a dream come true for everybody who dream or believes to be a footballer from as a kid. So.
How much conversation did you have with Darren Moore while the paperwork and the move was going through? What did he say to you?
Yeah, since the first day we met, he has been really great with me. As I said, warm welcome from everybody here in the club. Yeah, we spoke a lot of about what he wants from me onto the pitch. So we spoke about it, and he was really happy to have me in the team. So I was also really happy being here. So everybody was happy.
Just on that, what did he say that he wants from you? What role does he see you playing in this Huddersfield Town team?
No, he said he really needed a target striker, target player up front. So that's why he was lacking at the most. Box striker, a man who can fight, aerial duels, all this kind of hard work that he was lacking at that point. So that's the main things we have spoken about it.
You mentioned that you've also been in England before with Brighton. You had a couple of years down south with them. How did you find that as an experience? What did you learn from that, obviously as a bit of a younger man at that point?
Yeah, I was there when I was 18. I was so young. It was my first time going abroad, leaving my family, friends, everyone there in Spain. So it was, and in the beginning was a tough one for me. It was not easy to deal with. But as I said also in my first interview here when I came, now I have been given by a second opportunity. So now it's time to do things better, and for sure I learned a lot from that experience. So now the things is gonna be different.
Did you learn a lot personally as well, away from sort of the footballing side, but moving away on your own at such a young age, having to sort of fend for yourself almost?
Yeah, for sure, because you have to do everything on your own. You cannot depend from your parents or mom, dad. So I had to do everything for my own, and yeah, personally and as a person, I grown up a lot basing that. So yeah, it helped me a lot.
Before this opportunity to join Huddersfield arose, had you always wanted to come back to England to play at a senior level?
Yeah. It was in my mind. If I would have the opportunity to come back in England, I would have liked to come back. Yeah.
Since then as well, you've obviously you played in Sweden, in Finland. You've played in the Europa League and the Europa Conference. What were those like as experiences? Playing against those teams from around the world, some of the best in their respective leagues.
Yeah, for sure. When I was in Finland, we were the best team in Finland, winning a lot of championships in a row, 33 in a row. So, yeah, the most popular team in Finland. So for us, the league was, I would not say easy, but different in a different way than European games. For sure, in European games you play against top teams. So the quality of the games was different, and in European games in Europe when we played, we also played in a way that we could play against them. So it was not that easy for the teams to play against us. So we were decent, and we could even beat top teams in Europe.
How much are you looking forward to the fact this is a different challenge for you? As you said there, Helsinki were the top team in Finland, whereas Huddersfield Town at the minute are obviously trying to stave off the relegation threat. Does that excite you, the fact that it's a completely different challenge?
Yeah, it's a completely different challenge, but it's at the same time it's excited as well, because when I was in Finland, the challenge was winning the league and trying to get to the group stages in Europe. So that why the challenge is there. But here it's also excited because we have different challenges. That this year it's trying to stay in the league. That's the most important thing. So it's a really great challenge for me and for the team and the club, because if we stay, we can dream highly for the next year. So
it's obviously a home debut this weekend as well against Plymouth. You've had the experience of stepping out on a away ground at the Etihad. How much are you looking forward to stepping out at the John Smith Stadium?
Yeah, tomorrow it's gonna be a special game for me, and I hope for everybody who's involved in this club, because we have a big game ahead of us tomorrow, and we all hope that we're gonna get the 3 points in front of our fans.
And we saw a glimpse of you just finally last weekend. For the Huddersfield Town fans who perhaps don't know what they're getting with you as a striker, what can they expect? What kind of striker are you?
Yeah, for sure. I'm a hard worker striker. As I said, target man, target striker. Everything who goes in the box, I have to be ready there, because I'm the main player who's gonna be the first in the box. So that's my job, being in the box, finishing everything that I can inside, and yeah, for sure, scoring goals. So let's hope I can, or everyone can really enjoy about that.
Great to meet you, Bojan. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice.
Cheers, Jack. We'll just come to Stephen Chicken in the room.
Hi, Bojan. I'm sure when you left Brighton, you'll have known there were things you needed to learn and add to your game to get back to this kind of level. What did you need to do to get this move?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's I know England or English leagues are tougher. From my experience at Brighton, I know how to deal with that now. I know how to maybe to play differently depending on the games. I know there's much quality, strengthness, so all this stuff now I will try to improve, and because I learned from it, so now it's gonna be different in this kind of times. Now I get used to England because I was here before, so now I know what to do in this kind of aspects. Yeah.
A lot of players coming from abroad talk about the physicality of the English game. Is that one of the big differences?
Yeah, I think everywhere there is physicality, because without physicality you cannot play football. So everywhere is the same, but it's true that in England is the top one on physicality. So no, I think it's gonna be a good games, great games, good fights. So we're gonna expect, and hopefully we enjoy the games.
I think one of the issues for Huddersfield this season has been there's been creativity from players like Sorba Thomas, but not necessarily someone to finish it off. Are you looking forward to working with Sorba and other creative players in the squad?
Yeah, this kind of players helps you a lot in terms of delivering your good chances to score. So for me, having this kind of players in the team, for me as a striker, it helps a lot. So I think it will help a lot to me and for the team.
When you come in as a new centre forward to a new club, do you have much sort of conversation off the pitch with players like Sorba and players who might be playing alongside you, or is it more work on the training ground, a bit of both? How does it work?
Yeah, I think we spend a lot of time during the week in the training ground, many hours together, so we try to speak about football during the training sessions and when we are here together. So we spend more conversations inside of the pitch.
It's quite an important run of games for Huddersfield now. Do you feel confident that you can hit the ground running and get off to a good start?
Yeah, hopefully. I hope that. That's my desire. Coming here, and for sure tomorrow, first game at home in front of the fans. Yeah, they expect that we're gonna deliver as properly. So that's what we are. That's what we have to do. We have to play our game, focus on what we trained all the week, and things will come.
Darren Moore spoke last week saying, obviously you've come from a summer season playing in Finland. I know you've had a few European games since the season finished over there as well, but do you feel like fit and ready to step up, or might it take you a couple more weeks to be sort of 90 minutes ready?
No, not couple of weeks. I think couple of days it will be enough, because true, we end 14th of December, and then I was 2 weeks, 15 days off till I came here last week. So it's not about couple of weeks. I would say couple of days. It's enough.
Have you sort of kept yourself sharp since your season finished, but in the expectation you might get a move this January?
No, I think for sure. When the body it feels when you lose, or when you are like 2 weeks, 15 days off, you lose a bit, but it's not that really bad. So I would say not in my best one sharp, but I will get to that very soon. So it's nothing to worry about it.
Fantastic. Well, best of luck. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Stephen. And lastly, we'll just come to Stuart on the computer.
Hi, Bojan. How are you?
Good. You?
Yes, good.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thanks.
I just wanted to ask you. You've obviously grown up in Spain, where it's a very technical style of football, and maybe Scandinavia a bit more physical. Is England sort of the best mix, do you think, of having to be physical and skillful for your style of play?
Yeah, I think you said it completely right. It's a mix of both. I think because in Spain, Spanish school, how we say that it's like more they learned players from kids, like how to play more with the ball, not that physicality. And in Scandinavia is completely different, as you said. There's more physicality. So yeah, I would say the same, that here is a bit mix of both, and I think I get used to it, so it should be fine.
Brighton have become so good in recent seasons at developing young players. What is it about them that makes them so good, and what did you really benefit from being at Brighton?
Yeah, one thing I've benefited from that was maybe more on physicality things, because in Spain the work what we have done when I was there was more, as I said, technically with the ball, not that strength and physicality terms. But in England, one of the things I benefit from that is the physicality. Yeah.
And in a strange way, was Manchester City a good way for you to start? Because you came on in the game when, let's be honest, the result was decided. Just gave you a little bit of a feel for your new teammates before this Plymouth game, which is really important.
Yeah, it was nice playing that game at least 30 minutes to get rhythm a bit of it and get some minutes ahead of Plymouth game. So it was a good minutes for me, and yeah, the only thing was it would be nice if I would have finished scoring a goal, but yeah, that hopefully will come soon.
I mean, you had that chance later on, and Stephen's already mentioned Sorba, but the fact that he played you in for that chance, are you already getting a good understanding with him in terms of what runs each other will make, what passes, that sort of thing?
No, when you play alongside good players, great players, so we know each other, what we have to do in the pitch, so it's easy when you play with good players by your side. So was nothing that we spoke about it. It just came through the game, and that happened. Yeah.
And how excited are you to get back into really important football matches again?
Yeah, I'm really excited to be helpful for this team, to be scoring goals. So I think it's what every striker would like to do, like scoring goals for this club and be important for them. So that's my dream here.
And how much did you know about this club before they first approached you?
Yeah, when I got the first call, it was like, yeah, Huddersfield. I know about this club because I know they were playing a couple of years ago. They were in Premier League. When I was at Brighton, they also promoted. So they were 2 years in Premier League. So yeah, in that time, from that I started like to follow Huddersfield the last couple of years.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Stu. Thank you very much, everybody.
Cool. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to start with Jack from BBC Radio Leeds. Jack.
Hi Darren, good to speak to you again. I'll just start by quickly reflecting on the Man City game. I know you said afterwards, obviously a disappointing result, but a good exercise in all. How do you reflect on that a few days later now?
Yeah, no, we reflect on it as, going up against currently now the best team that we feel in the world in terms of how they go about their business. Both aspects in terms of when they're on the ball in possession and sort of out of possession. So there's lots of things for us to learn from playing against what we deem the elite. But we didn't feel it was any disgrace in terms of our performance, in terms of how we went about the game and the way we set our stall out very early in the game. But Manchester City being Manchester City in the position that they are, showcase against us as they do with teams at the level in the Premier League, just what an excellent team they are, and they really, really are. And as I said to us, we went to the Etihad with a game plan, and once you go a goal down, we felt the second goal was a real disturbing factor in it, really, because 2-0 at half time, you're trying to hold your own for the first 10 or 15 minutes and then sort of make headway in the game, and then once you get the third goal down, the game's starting to edge away from you, really. And the array of talent they can bring off the bench, which you saw, made the task that much more harder for us. But in terms of it, really, honestly, Jack, it was a wonderful learning experience for us and for the players. We sort of asked the question, what did you learn from the game on Monday? I mean, I won't reveal what some of the answers, what some of the players give me back, but it was quite refreshing and rewarding to see from a learning perspective. Could only have done the players more good than harm. So hopefully they can bottle it and take it forward for the second half of the season.
Just on that, how have the players been in the past week? How have they responded? As you said there, it sounds like a lot of them have taken the positives, because certain managers would have to sort of pick players up regardless of the performance after a result like that. How have they responded?
Despite it, I think the players quite enjoyed the level of game and the performance of the game, and the game playing at a level where they have to play at their very optimal best, really. In terms of, so there was a learning aspect from that. There's a learning aspect that being in the arena and going up against that calibre of player, whether they're world class or an international player, they're at the very, very highest level. So you're going up against somebody that in your specific position is deemed the very, very best. And what does the very, very best look like, and how does it feel like to play against them? So sometimes you can talk about it, Jack, but when you actually physically see it and feel it, all the talking that you're trying to sort of express on the boys, they're getting in reality. So it clearly shows that, in terms of where we are as a group, it shows if you want to get to the very, very top and be amongst the elite, the work that's needed on a daily basis. And I think that's a massive learning curve for the boys. And I think they've taken that from the game. And as I said, which I've alluded to, the squad's such an honest group that when they're coming back on the team bus, the conversations what they're having amongst each other is good. The conversations that they're having in the week is good. I've seen it from a training perspective. It's not dampening them at all. We feel that certainly over the last 4 or 5, probably 6 games, the performances have been good. They've been better. They've been heading towards the right way. And what we've just wanted to do on the back of those performances is see the results follow, and we feel that we're not far away from that. So we have to continue performing. As I said at Manchester City last week, when you look back at the performance, it wasn't a performance to feel disgrace in any way, means or forms. It was just a performance that we gave, what we did, but it just wasn't good enough on the day.
It was a first chance as well to see Alex and Bojan in your squad. What did you make to their performances?
If I break them down individually, starting with Alex, we saw him with the appetite, the energy, the focus, wonderful smile on his face as he goes about his business, disrupting play, but also gives the midfield room a real different dynamic in terms of the power that he brings in terms of there and the way he distributes the ball and gets up the pitch and supports the attacking roles of parts of the pitch. So that was good for Alex. Bojan, we see his hold-up play, link-up play, his intelligence to link with other teammates, but also the big thing for him was him playing in the middle of the park and down the middle of the pitch, which we feel we've got somebody there that if we can get the ball in the right areas, we feel that he's in the position where he can potentially get us those goals.
It were two really good first impressions. Does it excite you as a coach when you see players in their first games? You look at Bojan, who'd only been there a couple of days, doing that and on their debuts and getting rave reviews as well from fans.
Yeah, I mean it's great to hear that the reviews, if the fans are giving him those, and because I suppose the Huddersfield Town fans have seen us from the start of the season and probably see what the team's lacking and missing. So when they see those qualities display in a brief moment, it sort of wets the lips of everybody in terms of what they can see going forward, and hopefully can see why we've brought him to the football club. Alex as well. And I don't want to us not forget as well the impact that Brodie played as well, really, us getting him back from Motherwell. I was quite encouraged by what I saw in Brodie as well, really. And he's almost been like, and he's like, for me personally, like a new signing. But yeah, we've seen enough of him in terms of getting him back down and seeing him as a welcome addition to the squad. So all three of them played their parts, and hopefully the Town fans would have seen what the three players can bring us.
On the subject of new signings, Darren, and I know it's a topic that you've been asked about and will no doubt be asked about a lot before the end of January. We had Kevin Nagle in here on BBC Radio Leeds a couple of nights ago, and he put a number of three new players in before the end of January, three more additions, which would take your total to six, if you're including Brodie Spencer as well. Have you got a similar number in mind as to how many you want to bring in before the end of January?
No, I've not gotten a particular number in my head, but I've always alluded to that first and foremost, it's great to have the chairman here with us. I'm really, really pleased to have him here, to have that daily contact with him. It's been really special. It's great that he's here at this really important time of the season. And he's illustrating to everybody his desire for the football club, his ambition for the football club, which again, I've always alluded to. And he's leading from the front. What I'm going to say to you as a manager is that you know that we've expressed an activity in the transfer window. That's not changed. As to what numbers we're going to bring in, I'll never say that, because I have to illustrate again with the excitement that's building out there, is that the January window is a real difficult window to do transfers. It really, really is, because there's so many different components with it that can go for or against you in a January window, and I'm at a level-headed and experience to stay neutral on it, but really work it extremely hard with our chairman, with the team that we've got here, in trying to improve that if it's possible to do so. And the only time we're looking to do it is if we feel that it's going to improve Huddersfield Town going forward. Up until then, we'll continue to work extremely hard, but it's great to hear the chairman say that. And as I said, I'll express that it's great to have him here with us.
I appreciate there's only so much you can tell us about the transfers, Darren. Is there anything in the pipeline, anything even sort of close? I'm going to be honest, Jack, there's always things in the pipeline because it's the transfer window, so I'm going to be honest and say that. How close they are, honestly, Jack, it could be so close but yet so far. It really is, and I'm really sorry to be in this manner, but it really is, because I have to be honest, because I've got all the fans listening in to me, and I like to be honest, because working in the football club, they want to know what what's happening at their football club, and what I am expressing to the supporters is, and to everybody connected, is we are working extremely hard. And I could be saying this, and what I will say to the fans is 24 hours is a long time in football in terms of getting it. So we'll continue to work extremely hard, and we'll see where that takes us. We appreciate your honesty, Darren. Just you mentioned Kevin Nagle there, having him over at the moment. How many conversations have you had with him? Not just about transfers, but sort of generally about the direction of the club moving forward.
Yeah, even yesterday we was together. Just yesterday, we had a real good chat again yesterday in terms of the club and moving the club forward. And as I said, he's leading from the front, but he's led from the front from the first moment I spoke to him and the first moment I met him, and he has not changed his approach and his focus on the football club. And I'm energised by him. I love his energy. I love his focus. I love his determination, and we're just trying to work from that. And that's somebody at the very, very top, who's the chairman, the owner of the football club, and long may that continue. But he's energising me. He's energising the staff with his approach, and he feels really part of it in coming over here now and being real hands-on. So really appreciative with him being here.
When he was with us a couple of days ago, I don't imagine you need any reassurance, Darren, but he said you are his man in terms of the managerial role. Like I said, I don't imagine you need the reassurance, but how good is it to hear that from the person in charge?
Yeah, it is really rewarding and refreshing to hear that. But he said that from day one, and we continue to work extremely hard, and it's really good for me to know that the chairman's really supportive in what we're doing, and that's why I've express that to everybody, the supporters, everybody, that we are constantly been in contact and conversation right from day one. All what's just happened now is the chairman's here on our doorstep. So those conversations are on a daily basis in a physical sense, getting in the room and talking and keeping our lines completely open. But the lines, Jack, have been open from the time I've arrived here. There's not a week that goes by that we don't speak. Now we're speaking on a daily basis because he's here at the football club. So we'll continue to talk. We'll continue to express our feelings to one another and keep working together for the direction of the football club. I'm fully aware that the position that we're in, the process for this football club to move forward is ongoing and will continue to be ongoing.
Just looking ahead to Plymouth, it's obviously an interesting time for them. New manager at the helm in Ian Foster. Have you come across him before, Darren, in your career?
Yeah, probably briefly a couple of times. Probably more at youth team level when we was probably starting out in my career in that, and Ian's had a wonderful career. We see the work that he's done with our younger age group with the England setup. Credit to him. And in terms of where his careers took him, in terms of the experience that he's had, and to get the role at Plymouth to come and manage it in the Championship is credit to him and his sort of coaching and managerial background. So, we both lock heads tomorrow. We go head to head, and credit to him on his career that he's had. But again, I'll just focus our attention for me and on Huddersfield Town, and keeping the focus within the squad and the football club.
Injury-wise, are you expecting anyone back? I think Jonathan Hogg probably being the biggest one.
Yeah, we injuries to report on is obviously Hoggy's back in, been training. We've been great to have the skipper back in training in and around the group. We've certainly missed him. So to have him back in the group's great. We know about Dell and we know about Jaheim, their situations. Just trying to think who else now in the group. We've Kyle Hudlins. He suffered a little bit of a concussion we had an in-house game against Manchester City the day after we played him in the cup. Suffered a little slight injury in that one, and after today, and I know he's been online and that we've just got to give Bojan a fitness test tomorrow because after training today, just had a little issue today in training, so we'll give him a fitness test tomorrow and just to make sure that he's okay.
And the other one I had written down, David Kasumu.
And David Kasumu, he's trained as well, Cass, and he's come through as well, so bearing no adverse reactions tomorrow, then we'll see Cass as well.
Just finally from me, Darren, tomorrow's game is sort of the start of what a lot of Huddersfield Town fans are calling a big sort of 4 weeks. It's obviously Plymouth, Blackburn, QPR and Sheffield Wednesday, all teams sort of in and around where you are at the moment. How big an opportunity do you see the next few weeks as to put some distance between yourselves and the bottom three, and also put some of those rivals into sort of more precarious positions?
Yeah, and yeah, I can see the fans sort of looking at the month of January as a big month, and it is. And all the games, Jack, are really important games. I've always illustrated, no matter who we're playing, top or middle or bottom of it, they're all games that we're looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Plymouth. Why? Because they're the next opponents. I've always spoke about the club looking upwards instead of behind us, and they're ahead of us, a couple of league positions up ahead of us. So they're the ones that we want to catch. They're the ones that we want to pull towards us, and us reach towards them, really. So that's the game that I'm focusing on. Whilst I can understand, you can look at the whole month of January, and the games will come in their appointed time. But for me, it's all about the game tomorrow, and just focusing on that one. So that's the one what I'm looking towards, and that's the one that we're looking forward to tomorrow, being at home in front of our home fans, and looking at contesting that game, and continue to be the best version of ourselves in terms of what we've been shown over recent weeks. You know, I've echoed to the players to continue to improve on that, and to not match it, but to go and improve on it, really. And that's where we're at.
Thanks, Darren. Best of luck tomorrow.
Cheers. Thank you. Cheers, Jack.
Thanks, Jack. We're going to come in the room next to Stephen from We Are Terriers.
Hi, Darren. You mentioned Dale and Jaheim. Are they both still expected to be out for a while?
Yeah, Del and Jaheim are out for a while. So they're with the medical team. So disappointed to lose them, Steve, certainly on our left-hand side of the pitch. So we're really disappointed, because both players, I felt at the time, would just turn the corner in their performances and was giving the team a real level, really. So to lose them both for that sustained period is, I'm disappointed, but it's the game.
Yeah, I mean, you have brought new players in though, and you know, if you get Cass back, if Bojan gets through, do you feel you're going to have more ability to get through 90 minutes and have more options from the bench?
Yeah, providing losing them, because obviously we've lost Del, Jaheim, and Utah. Yeah, we forget about Utah's gone to there. So when you look at that left-hand side of the team, to lose them three at the time, is I'm not going to say I'm happy about it, because I'm not, but it is what it is, and it's another hurdle that we faced all season, and we'll overcome this one and step over this hurdle and move forward. And we've got other people that can deputise in that position, in those positions. Yeah, I guess if you're looking at like for like there, then Ben Jackson and Josh Garoma particularly stand out. Do you feel they have more contribution to give to this side? Yeah, and they've always had that, and we've seen, you know, in moments, especially with Jacko, in his performances before he got injured, how good and consistent he was playing. So to have him back, he's another addition to get back at the right time. And certainly with Josh Garoma, we know the effect that Josh can have in the team in that attacking sense. So them two certainly play a pivotal part in that. Yeah, I think Josh has had chances the past few games. It's just not quite gone for him. You know, he's hit the bar a couple of times, I think. Is it perhaps a matter of once that first one goes in, hopefully the floodgates then open for him? I would say so, Steve. I mean, he's been the one that I said to Josh, Josh, the mere fact that you're getting in there and getting the chances, that's the hard bit. You'll put the ball in the back of the net when they do come, because when they keep going, you will score. So he's not to really be too hard on himself, because the hard bit he's doing, which is getting the opportunities, and he'll continue getting the opportunities. And like I said, if he gets one, we feel that, you know, that'll settle him down, and you know the goals will come. But the main thing is he consistently keeps getting in there, and with the ability that he's got, he'll find himself in there. So I said, be ready for the next one. When we reviewed sort of the stats from the past 6 league games, obviously a lot of what you learned from Man City won't really apply in the Championship. But when you look at the last 5 or 6 league games, there have been signs of
a change of style. You know, we're seeing the team spending more time on the ball, passing it better, creating more chances. Do you feel like things are starting to move in the right direction now, stylistically, even if the results aren't quite there yet?
I definitely feel that, Steve, because I'm a very firm believer that in order to get a result, then the performance has to go a long way towards that. What we're seeing is certainly the performance are heading in the right direction. Yes, there has been a little bit of a system change and a team change and personnel change to enhance that. And all that goes hand in hand with trying to win games. So possession stats, goal attempts, chances in the opposition half, free kicks, corners, all those things are heading in the right direction, which are all stats and figures that you need in order to win a game. And what we consistently work on is making those areas of our game better, and then we need to consistently improve on it. And that's what we'll consistently do. And in the month of January, when you've got a 1 game week, you're able to work that in sessions and really get some real good sessions into the players in order for them to produce that and when asked to play for the club against opposition.
I think there was an acknowledgement against Middlesbrough that you'd been quite unlucky to lose that game after a pretty good performance. Last couple of games, obviously, not ones you would have expected to win, respectfully. Do you feel like now it's time for those performances? It's really important to turn those performances into results now in what is, again, with respect to the opposition, a more winnable run of games?
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, we fully respect all opposition that we play against, but for me, Steve, I've had a real selfish approach in just looking at my team, which is Huddersfield Town, and making sure that the players got a mindset and mentality to go out and give that right performance, and the desire to put in that right performance. And certainly what I've seen from us, from a group of players, is heading in that right direction. We push them again to continue. We need more because we're in the business to go and win games. So, the next game coming up, we see that as the next opportunity because it's the next game. And that's how we've always gone and approached it. So certainly this next group of games in the month of January, starting with tomorrow, we're just focusing on tomorrow, making sure that Huddersfield Town is giving the best accounts of themselves in terms of the performance. I'm really big on the performance, and the players know that in terms of the performance, because we speak about that week in, week out in here, because you have to be ready to perform when asked to perform, and that's what the players have been. It's a large part of the game in terms of what I've been discussing with the players from a mental point of view going forward, and what I've seen over the last 4 or 5 weeks is that approach, which has been good.
Plymouth are a very high scoring side. They also concede quite a lot of goals. Is this quite a good test in a way for the players to see if, particularly with the new arrivals and the improvement in some of the aspects of the performance, to see if they're now ready to go toe-to-toe with a team like Plymouth?
Yeah, and we've got more understanding from where we've been at as a team as well, really, and coming up against teams like this. So the players are well rehearsed in terms of who's coming into town and the strengths what they pose and the weaknesses that they pose. It's no different to any game that we've prepared for. And it's another game that, good opposition coming into town. We know we'll have to be at our level best if we're to come out with the right type of result. So therefore, we've got to be ready for it. We've trained this week. The game last week we've put behind us now, and very much focusing on the game tomorrow.
We were talking to Bojan just now about that relationship with Sorba Thomas. Seems to be, that's going to be hugely important for you this second half of the season. Is that sort of one of your focuses on the training pitch, making sure that partnership, you're getting the absolute most out of it?
Yeah, and they complement each other really, really well. Bojan he's very intelligent in his movement and his play in receiving, but also when he receives, and that his ability to bring others into play. And we saw a little cameo with him and Sorba in terms of what Sorba can bring with us, and how he, with his skill sets and attributes, how he can hurt opposition defences, really. So looking at the style of play, both players, I would say they complement each other really, really well in terms of how they go about their game. And what you're looking at is them understanding each other now. Is that real? You know, sometimes there's combination play, and as the longer they work together, the more understanding they'll get. And we know where Sorba's been all season in his consistency, and he needs to keep that going, because that will help Bojan when settle down and give again with them two, it gives the team a complete different new look.
That's all from me. Best luck.
Cheers, Steve.
Thanks, Stephen. Stuart from the Yorkshire Post, thanks for your patience.
Hi, Darren. How are you doing?
Hello, Stu. Yeah, good, thanks.
Good. The nature of the championship, it seems like very regularly you're coming up against a manager who's new in his job. And I know you're, as you always say, your primary focus is on Huddersfield Town. But does that mean the players have to be able to think a bit more on their feet because you're not 100% sure what you might be coming up against?
Yeah, and that's a great question, because it's his first game. He's had a week to work. He can do whatever he decides. He's a new manager in there, so he can bring whatever he wants to bring to the game tomorrow. And that's why when we've been a new manager in and coming up against the team, you have to have a wide sense really in terms of how the game can be played, and what you have to just do is prepare your players as best as you possibly can. But in truth and reality, it's tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and the boys being ready, and that's why my focus has been about Huddersfield Town and preparing us and making sure that in the performances that we've shown in the league before the cup, that we showed an improvement in our performances, and we felt we were probably a whisker away from one or two more positive results. It's important that we remember that and what gave us the leverage for those performances and the mindset, and making sure that it's not the same performance, that we're building on top of those performances and improving even more. And I think that's what we've been really emphasising on, certainly over this week.
And I mean, you mentioned to Jack that one of the first things you did after the Man City game was to ask them what they learned. Is that kind of an important part of the way you coach, that it's not just about you coaching to them, it's a two-way conversation? Yeah,
of course, and that's just that was me to the boys. I just said what a better way to ask them and get them to think and get them to feel and express to the group individually and collectively as a whole, because what a certain player may have felt on that day, he could express it to the group, and the group can learn from it, because they were the ones that crossed the white line, they were the ones that felt it, they was the ones that was in the arena and up against that elite. So what things did they learn? What things, when they spoke to their counterparts, did they express to each one another in terms of that? And I think that, for me, Stu, was a wonderful learning. So part of my managerial and coaching experience was to grab that opportunity as a learning from a group of players, and we took the opportunity to learn from it. So it was quite good, some of the things what they expressed back to us as a group on Monday when we was evaluating the game. So it was wonderful really to hear and see, but wonderful because now they know what it takes to apply themselves in that manner, if they really want to get to the top of the ladder and the top of the tree in their game. So I thought it was good experience for them all.
And in terms of you learning from experience, this group of Huddersfield players has played that group of Plymouth players already this season, but obviously you weren't there and Ian Foster wasn't there. So how much use has looking back on that video been for you?
It's not going to be any real use, Stu, because we're a completely different team then, and Plymouth are going to be a completely different team. So it's almost like you can't really look back at that game, really. You might look back at individuals that played in the game, but certainly what's been asked of the individuals is completely different from them. So I don't think you can really harbour too much looking back at that game. As I said, both managers weren't even there at the time when both teams went head-to-head earlier in the season. So, we won't look much back at that game. It's just what we've been doing looking forward and building on what we've been doing, certainly over the last few weeks.
And obviously, you brought Bojan to this club because he's got different qualities to the strikers you've already got. So how much will that change the way you play, whether he's on the field or as to whether he's on the field or not on Saturday?
Stu, it allows us to change again. He allows me to do a couple more different things that that I'd have probably wanted to do but weren't able to do. So when he's fit and playing, or whenever asked to play, it gives us options to do different things and to play different players in different roles that may suit best for them and for him. That I think is really, really important. I really do think it's important, but I think it's his game and what he can bring us in terms of going forward. I think that's the big thing, that he's very different to what we've got in the building. And we feel it's somebody that I spoke to you again about his all-round play is very good, but also somebody that you've seen a little cameo of him that fashioned a half chance at Man City that the keeper's pulled off a save, that, you know, in that small cameo role he's managed to fashion a chance for himself against the very, very best in the world of football today. So we hope if he carries on along that same form that he's shown, that it's just giving everybody a little bit of excitement, then it can only do well for us and for the football club going forward. So we'll see how that fares over the weeks and months ahead.
So do the players, when they get into wide positions now, just have to be a bit more conscious of the delivery, maybe more crosses, fewer pullbacks, that sort of thing? Will it just sort of tweak the details of your game, do you think?
Yeah, that's another one that you've expressed, that it does allow us to put the ball in the box from an aerial point of view, or certain ways we can deliver from certain angles of the pitch that we probably maybe wouldn't have delivered before because of the personnel that we had in there. So that's probably a different aspect that we can do and allows us to do. So that's certainly another part and dimension to the team that we certainly feel that we can have in terms of going forward because of the player that he is.
And just, you know, just talking about the type of player that Alex is, we saw him play as the most defensive midfielder at City, but because of the way he plays the game, do you think him and Hoggy will be a good combination together because of the different qualities they have?
Yeah, and he again, he's been somebody that we've identified in terms of the group and the team where we're at and the role that he can play. Again, you saw last week how he's just come in, and it was just it was almost like smooth transition for him, really, in terms of what he can bring, but not just what he can bring, in terms of how he's improved the squad, in terms of what we saw from him in his role that he played. We played in for like sort of 60 minutes last week because you have to appreciate he's not played much football in the first part of the season, so we don't want him to come in and break him by overdoing his minutes too quick, too soon. So we've gradually brought him in. But I was really pleased with his performance. I do think his combination with whether he's playing with Kasumu, Radoni, Wiles, Hoggy, the type of player he is, whether you look at him in an offensive or defensive role, I think he'll complement whoever he plays within there, because he's, again, the type of player that he's in. He's got both assets to his game, where he can be defensive-minded or he can be attack-minded. So, again, we've recruited a player that we feel in both aspects of the game is equally as strong.
And you've talked already about what Kevin Nagel and his presence here has done for you and continues to do for you. Obviously, he's new to English football. He's new to the January transfer window. Is there an element of, whilst he's helping you, you're teaching him a bit about the vagaries of a January in England?
Yeah, and just to be honest again, Stu, we spoke yesterday, and we spoke about some of the opportunities that we have in maybe helping to better the squad. And I spoke about in more detail that I couldn't express here to him the problems that we've had. So I took him through a couple of the case scenarios and broke it down. So when he was asking me about this, what's happening here, what's happening here, what's happening here, I was able to break that down to him in detail. So that hopefully sort of gave the chairman an insight into what the January window's like. And I said to him, we're still very early in the window and there's probably more different scenarios to come. But I gave him an example, and he saw from his point of angle how this window can be, whereas I sit quite neutral. And and we want the excitement and we want the determination and the drive, which is excellent, and I love that, and we're with him all every step of the way. And some cases it's nothing to do with Huddersfield Town. Some cases, Stuart, you know, it's to do with others, and on these occasions it's nothing to do with Huddersfield Town, I can assure you. So it's other hindrances in the deal which I expressed to him, which he saw at first hand. So it just gives him an insight into it. But as you heard from yesterday, it's not dampened his approach by any stretch or any means, and he'll be determined and keep pushing us all the way, really, to try and see things improve at the football club, which is what we want.
And whilst you always have to manage expectations with us, with the fans, with the chairman, perhaps, is it nice to just have that excitement around the place and that energy of somebody who's really, looking to get stuck into a transfer window?
Yeah, it is, and the responsibility I have is obviously it's driven by the chairman, which I'm with it 100% of the way. And also, it's a responsibility for the supporters as well, really. And I speak here openly to all the supporters that were working extremely hard, and I know the excitement is there. And there's nobody more put in this position that want to bring that excitement more than me in terms of it, because I know the excitement it can bring, and I know the excitement it's going to bring around the January window, which it does create that. But you have to sort of channel that excitement, which is my job, but also keep the focus, which is on the games with the fixtures what are coming. We have got a wonderful team, a recruitment team there that's picking up the pieces and continue to showcase the way, and I've got complete trust in them. We're all working together, but also at the same time I've got to keep a focus on the game and keep focused on the game, which we are really looking forward to Plymouth tomorrow. So hopefully it's given the supporters and everybody listening a slight insight into what can consist in the January window if you didn't know it already. But that won't dampen us, and we'll continue to work extremely hard.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time, Darren. Good luck tomorrow.
Cheers. Thanks, Stu.
Cheers, Stu. Thanks, everyone. We'll see many of you tomorrow.